by really getting grounded. And those of you that have worked with me before know that I always start with my oil. I want to just activate my amygdala and let me know, okay, I'm here right now in this. I'm here to learn. I'm here to open up what is true and possible. And so I'm going to go ahead and, yep, I see all of you taking your oils out. You're getting ready. If you have an oil close by, grab one. But it's a beautiful practice when you're going into anything that you're wanting to activate your highest self, is to connect within through our senses. And our sense of smell is our amygdala is directly tied to those olfactory glands. And so it's a beautiful way to open that up and really connect to yourself. So let's go ahead and put a hand on our heart, hand on your belly, and just know that you are absolutely safe. There's nothing for you to do. There's nothing for you to, show up any way, other way, but you being purely authentic to yourself. Breathing into your abdomen, making sure that you're not breathing into your chest, because that is a fight and flight response that all of us have learned very, very, it's kind of ingrained in how we are, that we breathe in our chest. Breathe all the way down into your abdomen. Breathing in that beautiful air, filling up your belly, filling up your mid-chest, filling up your upper chest, and then exhaling in the same pattern and exhaling slightly longer than your inhalation. Once again, inhaling into your belly, your mid-chest, your upper chest, and then exhaling in the same pattern, but in a slightly longer breath pattern. One more time. In through the nose, belly, mid-chest, upper chest, and exhale. That just simple practice just helps me to reintroduce myself to me, my essence. That this next hour is all about you. It's all about me tuning in to whatever comes my way. I have some preparation, but I am willing to tap into that force way outside of myself that can help share the information that you've come here tonight for. And so I am going to go through this information. Feel free to chat. At the very end, I am going to open it up for discussion and questions. But up until that point, I'm going to go through a lot of content tonight. I'm going to be teaching you tools. I'm going to be teaching you things that you can take and you can use for the rest of your life. I am so interested in pouring into you that I just truly, let's see. Can we mute again? For some reason, the speaker view is not on me. It's on, let's see, it's on someone else. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I was on a roll. We'll figure this out. And if I'm not on the speaker view, that is okay. It is all right. I don't know why I can't get the view to go on speaker view, because the person speaking should be the one that, see, it's got Kaylee. Kaylee, apparently it wants you to be the speaker tonight. Isn't that cool?
Wendy,
yes.
It'll just show that because I was the last person besides you to speak. Everyone else is seeing you as the speaker view. You just get to see my not picture.
Okay. All right. See, technology is not my zone of genius. There you go. You all know. You all are aware now that my zone of genius is not technology, and that is okay because I have other things that I'm good at, and so do you guys. So, okay, I'm going to go back into my train of thought, and then we'll start this class. I love to connect to that breath, because I am here to pour into you. I am here to help you navigate this world in more flow, more trust, more surrender. How many of you out there, by show of hands, would like less worry? How many of you would like less worry? How many of you would like less discouragement? Okay. How many of you would like closer connections? Yeah. How many of you would like to have less health conditions? Maybe like healthy, vibrant health. Okay. And how many of you would like abundance? When I say abundance, that's all the things, but even so into financial abundance and money. All of you? I think we all deserve it. This is your birthright. It is yours. It is not just for me. It is for all of us. So I am going to go into my PowerPoint. And so I'm going to share my screen. Oh, can you give me the right again? And I'll just let people in as they come in late. Okay, awesome. All right. We are going to share my screen. We are going to get up here and all righty. We're almost there. We're almost ready to start this. Does everybody see my screen right now? Can you see this? Is it coming through? Awesome. Okay, wonderful. Okay. And you'll need to forgive me. I'm letting people in. There's some reason I had a hard time finding the co-host thing too, with my last one. And so it just is what it is. And what's so beautiful about this way of living is everything happens perfectly. Everything happens the way it's meant to be. So I'm not worried about it. For whatever reason, I am here and I'm going to be letting people in, and it's not a big deal. And I just would love grace with all of you. If for some reason I am not a person who says that I can multitask, because I'm very, very present with my thinking. So if I'm here, I am here. I'm not doing 5 other things. Now, that was my past version, but right now, this is where I'm at with you, serving you, loving you, pouring into you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when you learn to enter the 5D world, we get the best version of you, the most vibrant, passionate, full of life version. So we all win because we get you without the trauma. We get you without the problems. We get you full of life, full of joy, full of bliss. And we all win. We win, your family wins, your community wins. So that's where I'm at today. I'm going to pour into you. I'm going to give you so much content, so much information. And I want to let you know, just so that you know, I'm going to go and basically give you a 1 hour content with the tools and everything. I'm just going to share them with you. We're going to send out the recording so you can go back to it. And at the last 5 minutes, and I will let you know before I jump into the last 5 minutes, I will go into those of you that want a deeper dive. And so I want you to know it's none of my business if you ever do anything else with me. Tonight is for you. And I want you to know that there are no strings attached, nothing except for my love for you. Because when we link arms and we lift each other up, we all win. When you heal, I heal. When I heal, you heal. And so this is because the greater good of man is being served when we all learn how to do what I am so fortunate to have had placed in my lap through a lot of challenges, through a lot of stretches, through a lot of being able to surrender to figure out this. And so I'm going to share with you tonight. That's where we're going. Everybody good? Everybody good? Okay, let's move on. Okay, who is Wendy Bunnell and what is the 5D world? Where are we going with this? So in a nutshell, my name is Wendy Bunnell. I live in St. George, Utah, and I have lots of roles that I've played in this life. A wife of a wife of 35 years, a mother of 5, a grandmother of 12, all these beautiful things that I've played in my life. I'm a business owner, entrepreneur, a festival co-producer, lots of fun things that I get to experience. Really what I am is this person who's never changed inside, but just forgot. I just was blinded by the external world that made me forget who I truly was. And this is just a journey of me rediscovering. It's a journey of all of us rediscovering. And so that's the beautiful thing about tonight, is it's not anything you have to learn to do. You just need to learn to remember. And isn't that beautiful that we can be in that space? I want to tell you a little bit about how I got into the quote unquote 5D world. And that is, I'm going to tell you 2 stories. The first one is, I remember I just got back from a beautiful trip to Scandinavia. I was in 4 countries. And as I was reflecting on this trip, I remember 7 years ago being on a couch, watching The Amazing Race with my husband, and recognizing that I was so riddled with autoimmune issues, with health conditions. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I had a hard time keeping my thought. I had brain fog. I had every diagnosis you could think of, chronic pain. And I recall thinking to myself, in this condition, I will never do that. And I was just crying because my love language is travel. I love new experiences. I love travel. I love going out there and meeting new people. And in that condition, I knew it wasn't possible. Fast forward a few years later, I start to regain my health. I start to really feel I'm starting to learn in personal development, this love that happens from within. I'm starting to kind of glimpse into that. And I'm starting to get a handle on working with my autoimmune issues. And then I started to see, as I was regaining my health, that I was falling into old patterns. I was working 60 to 80 hours a week, trying to create this life, this external life that I thought was going to bring me all the happiness. I was taught from yay high that these are the things that you do, and this is the system that you have. And if you have this, and you have this, and you have this, you're going to be happy. If you have a college degree, if you have a good paying job, if you have a house and kids, if you have, if you serve in the community, you will be happy. And I was deeply, deeply unfulfilled, deeply unfulfilled. I was making more money than I ever had before. I was making close to 7 figures. I had everything that I could possibly want, and I was deeply unfulfilled. And at that point, I truly surrendered. Have any of you guys, by show of hands, and just use your like little fun little meme thing, how many of you have felt like I'm done? I'm done with the way that my life has been going, and I'm not living it this way anymore. It has to be different than this. It has to be better than this. It has to be something different than what I have right now. And I know it. I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my soul. I know that it exists, but I don't know how to get it, right? Well, that's where I was. And I finally just threw up my hands and I surrendered. And I said, I can't live life like this anymore. And that was literally 3 short years ago, my friends, 3 short years ago. I gave it all up. And in doing that, Yin on Fire came into my life. I was already teaching business personal development, but started to go into this spiritual awakening in myself. And started to be able to teach that way in retreats and transformational programs. And I want you to know that I went for 80 hours a week to an average of 10 hours a week. I just spent 3 weeks in Scandinavia doing 4 countries, 7 airplanes, 13 buses, over 100 trains, 110 miles walked. I lived the amazing race 7 years later. So I know what I'm teaching works. I know that it works. And I want to give you hope. And I know that you're out there going, well, my life's not all bad. No, I know it's not. It's beautiful. But do you think that it could just keep getting better? Could it be more connective? Could it be more robust? Could it be greater than you even anticipated or expected? And my answer is yes, because every single day I wake up and I go, I didn't think it could get better, and it did. So I want you to know it happens. So what is the 5D world? The 5D world is the world of true, authentic self. This is who you are. This is you past the external world. The 3D world is where we live, the physical plane that we live. And we don't want to leave the 3D world, right? The 3D world is where we play and we create and we have homes and we have kids and we signed up for this. But it's learning to go into the 5D world of seeing the 3D world differently. So we're not going anywhere. We're not all of a sudden going in a parallel or an alternate universe. It's here. So I'm going to show you what that means, but I am going to go into the 3D world first because it's one that we're very familiar with. We all know what the 3D world is, and we all know what this means. So I'm going to go into the 3D world, which will help us perpetuate the discussion of 5D world. Okay, so this is, I'm going to just, let's see, just a minute. Okay. Oops, just kidding. Back. Okay. Gotta love technology. I literally, because of this little bar over here. Okay. Now I got it. That is so funny. You guys are going to have to text me if something funky happens because I just shrank everybody's stuff. And so I can't see people. I can only see the chat bar right now. Okay. This is where we are with the 3D world. This is the one that we've been conditioned to see since we were little. And not only conditioned to see this, but we have generations and ancestral patterns that carried over to us so that we see the same thing that they see. So this world says that there's got to be a struggle. So there has to be a strategy because there's a problem. Think about your life. There's always a problem. Maybe you think you need to lose weight. So there's a problem. We got to fix it. Maybe we don't have enough money. So we got to go look outside of ourselves and we got to fix it. And we've got to create a strategy to bring in more money. Maybe we got 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs. Maybe we start really splintering our time. And then we start going, why do I feel like I'm going to self-combust? Maybe it is literally all the marketing campaigns and business and healthcare and every system that we have on planet Earth right now is surrounding this 3D way of living. The 3D world says, you've got this problem. I'm going to show you that you have a problem. So all the marketing and campaigns are conditioned on, hey, you shouldn't be this way. So you must have a problem. So here is a strategy to get out of the struggle. And some are true struggles. Those of you that have been in positions or are in a position where money is tight, there is a real problem when you don't have enough money for food or don't have enough money for your housing. That poses a problem. The problem with the 3D way of doing things is that you get into a struggle. There's an internal struggle. There's an internal fight. There's an internal resistance to what is coming in. So you can't even see the solution to the quote unquote problem because you are in the problem. You are in the chaos. You are in the struggle. Okay. So I want you to understand that this has been the way. It's not your fault and it's not my fault. It's the way that we've been conditioned to see this world. And it's been this karmic loop that we've all been stuck in. But the beautiful thing is that you can unlearn and start to learn a different way of looking at the world. And when we start to change internally, the external world just shifts. Okay. We are conditioned to look externally. I am having a problem with, I don't know. Let's see. I'm just trying to think of all the problems that we have. I have a problem with my health. Okay. I have an issue. And so for me, because I'm a doer, I would go and see 4, 5, 6 doctors. I would get various diagnoses, various tests, all the things. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to take 10 medicines because one of them will work. And it's that constant focusing on external. if I get validation by getting credit for something I do, if someone sees me, if I have 1,000 followers, if I have people post, messaging me or commenting on my post, I have validation. I exist. People see me, people hear me, people know that I am here and I am of value. So we're focused externally. And we get really habitual, and our neural programs, our neural pathways get very entrenched with this information. We're going to go really into nervous system regulation today. And one of the reasons why we keep getting yanked back into the Xerox copying of life. How many of you have seen that you keep doing the same pattern over and over and over? Maybe it's the same kind of relationship, but just a different person. Maybe it is the same money situation. You start to get money and then you lose it. You start to get money, you start to lose it. You start to release weight, you gain it all back. Okay. It's because of this Xerox copying life in the 3D world. And it's our nervous system that keeps yanking us back because those programs were programmed based on our ancestral and our collective and also what we learned from 0 to 7. So if you were in a situation where it was unsafe or chaotic, or money was an argument, or mom was not treated well from dad, or vice versa, then that safety program, that predictability that you learned at a very young age is your safety program. Not that it makes any sense, but our nervous system wants you to keep you alive. And if you were alive, which you are, all of you are older than 7, 0 to 7, if you are still alive, then your nervous system says, well, this works. And then every single time you have an emotionally charged event in your life, it gives you a tag. That is the program, and we're going to keep the program alive because it keeps you alive. So I'm going to tell you the issues, but we are going to get to the solutions. So no worries. It causes stress and worry. The 3D world, we're constantly worrying about the problem. We're constantly worrying about the stress, which puts so much stress on our body. We will continually be in the fight, flight, freeze, fawn cycle because we're either fighting life and trying to figure out how to get out of it, or we are flight. We're constantly doing so that we don't think about the thing, right? Or we're in fawn, we're trying to save someone else and we get into their business instead of staying in our business. Or we freeze and we just don't do anything. We just stay home. We just melt down. And most of us go in this cycle of up and down. It's not a linear cycle. It's usually we have a little flavor of all of them. This chronic stress that the 3D world poses when we're constantly trying to fix problems gives us this symptom in our body. When we're stuffing things and we're putting things into our body is a vessel of truth and light, and it will store those things if you aren't willing to look at them and process them, which causes disease over time. When you are fighting life, your body gets a signal that it should fight life. It should literally fight against you. And so it causes autoimmune issues. And so you start to see that all of these things are integrated and involved. So 3D causes problems with your relationships. It causes really issues with your health. It causes issues with your nervous system, which is the basis of all what we're going to be talking about. And it causes you issues with money, because money is a vibration and abundance is a vibration. And if you are in a place of constant suffering and you are in a place of scarcity and lack, that is exactly what you're going to call into your life. So I'm going to show you some brilliant things that will help alleviate these things and start to shift you into what I'm going to call the 5D world. So again, the 5D world, we're going into this world where there's no struggle. There's no problem. It's pure authentic self. It's who you are. It's who I am. It never left us. We just forgot. We were taught by people who didn't know either, so they're off the hook too. We get to forgive and have compassion, especially for ourselves. Because if we didn't know any better, then, and we didn't realize that this cycle of habitually trying to figure this out and stay in that constant struggle and strategy was posing so much, and we weren't present in beautiful presence. Neither one of us, none of us knew any better, but now we do. And once you see, you can't unsee. Sorry, guys, when you're finished with this class after this hour, you will not see the world the same, which is beautiful. And also, it brings up some things. I want you to know that as you start this road, it's like opening a closet that you didn't even know existed, and you have hoarded and hoarded and hoarded things in that closet. And now all of a sudden you see what you never saw. It can be a bit overwhelming, and it can be a bit much. And I want you to know that the things I'm going to teach you tonight, I'm going to teach you some basic things. We only have an hour, but I'm going to teach you enough that you can start this process of unpacking, unfolding, and helping yourself to come back to safety, to come back to yourself, to that pure, authentic self. And it's going to take a lot of forgiveness, a lot of compassion, a lot of tolerance, and a lot of patience. We have eternity, so don't worry about rushing this process. It took however many years to get into this cycle, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to be easier and less time to get out of the cycle. All right. Entering into the 5D world. The first thing that you're going to learn is that the answers lie within. All of the things that you try and find out here, the things that we're trying to seek is so that we can have a feeling. We want the bigger paycheck because we think it will give us freedom and peace. We want the close relationship because we think it will give us fulfillment and companionship and have deep love and connection. We want the health for obvious reasons so that we can have vibrancy and so we can live and be in this world in our optimal best selves. We want all of those things so that we can have a feeling. The feeling is usually peace, is usually satisfaction and impact and fulfillment. It's usually freedom. And that's what the entering into the 5D world is all about. And once you become aware and you open your eyes and you see it, awareness is the antidote to suffering. You can't fix a problem unless you see a problem. And I know that that is kind of a funny little word because I just said we're getting out of the problem. But I want you to understand there's a difference between problem and suffering, okay? Until you see that there is a misalignment, I like that word better. When you see that you are misaligned, that you are not aligned with truth, that you are not aligned to your highest self, you will start to have internal conflict, right? But we have to see the internal conflict and we have to be aware that it's happening. Otherwise, we're just always in the chaos and the drama. And we start looking at this stuff coming into your life and wondering, why do I keep having these people who treat me poorly into my life? Why do I have people that don't have time for me? Why do I not have businesses that grow? Why do I not have money? And it's always a constant struggle. You start to see those problems instead of understanding that that resistance is inside. And once you start to become aware of your emotions and your body again, and you become reacquainted with them, you have the ability to change it. And it is the antidote to suffering. We've all been taught to demonize our bodies. We've all been taught to stuff our emotions. And as a result, we are very disconnected from our bodies. We are very disconnected from our emotions. And these are two of the things that are going to help you get back on course. So it's reintegrating with that body. Some of us are so disconnected. In fact, it's really interesting with my clients. We have an emotional intelligence app that in 15 seconds, it will tell you what emotions are present in your body, just from your voice. And what's beautiful about that is that so many individuals, and I'm going to tell you, women are primed for this. how much anger they have inside of them, stuffed resentment, stuffed self-betrayal, stuffed anger. And they don't even know it's there. They're like, well, I don't feel angry. It's because you don't let yourself feel angry. Angry has been bad. Angry has been demonized. And so awareness, becoming aware that it even is there. Now you have an antidote to suffering. Number two, entering into the 5D world takes 100% responsibility. It's nobody else's fault that your life is like this. So when someone in your family does something that you think is not correct, and you say it's their fault, it's their decisions, it's their problem, or they treated me like this, and that's why I feel this way. You start to unwrap that and unravel that and become radically responsible for your life, radically understanding. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't mean that you're setting yourself up to be abused. In fact, quite the contrary. When you are fully aligned, you can see things in truth instead of an emotional reaction, and a reaction that's from our subconscious programming. So we're not reacting and throwing and going, you're the problem. We're actually doing the reverse. I see that there's just this person that I'm with is dysregulated, and I have compassion and grace and love. And I am choosing not to be treated in such a place. And so I am going to either come to this person and find out what I can do in terms of, I have this conversation with my husband probably weekly, probably not weekly, but it happens from time to time where the old version of ourselves will come out, myself included. And we will ask questions of, hey, you don't usually treat me like that. What's going on inside? Right? So now you get to the heart of it instead of reacting. You can't treat me like that. It's your fault. And we get out of the victim, villain, and rescuer mode. In entering into the 5D world, we truly surrender and accept what is. Byron Katie has that beautiful statement of, instead of saying this should not be happening, it should be happening because it is. When we get to that place of true surrender, that it is truly what it's supposed to be right now in this moment, right now in this time, our bodies start to relax. We're not fighting anymore. We're not fighting anymore. We're not saving someone else because we want to save ourselves. We're literally accepting and surrendering, which leads us, when we're feeling safe in our bodies, we just opened up unlimited possibilities. The right people come in, the right resources come in, the right money comes in, because your external world matches your internal world. So when you are feeling grounded and good and safe inside, so does the external world. And let me tell you what the magical synchronicities start to happen in your world. It is pure bliss to watch it happen. This brings you freedom and peace. How many of you feel like you just want to exhale and just let it go? I know for me, I felt like I was holding my breath for 45 years. And I finally was able to take a deep exhalation, really only about 3 or 4 years ago. Your health conditions can reverse because your body is now in rest and digest. It can do what it needs to do to repair. And as you're letting things go out of your system, you're making room for that. And I'm going to teach you that here in a minute. You're also learning that you're not separate. You are one. We are one. That's why I said at the beginning, when you heal, I heal. When I heal, you heal. When I succeed, you succeed. When you succeed, I succeed. It gets us out of the world of competition, of war. It gets us out of who is right and wrong. It gets us out of judgment because we are one. And if I hurt you, I'm hurting myself. And if I help you succeed, I'm helping myself succeed. And that is the 5D world. Can you imagine if we all lived this way in collaboration and harmony? And it is possible. And I really believe that's where we're headed. I truly, in my heart, believe this. We get close and intimate connections, and abundance is everywhere. It is. I just did a money retreat, a 5D money retreat, and we learned that money is everywhere if you look for it. I mean, take, for instance, a doorknob at the coffee shop. Opening up that doorway, you hold that doorknob, right? And if you take that doorknob and trace it all the way back to the beginnings, you can see that money is a big trail, even just with the doorknob. You know, where did the resources come from, and who got paid for that? And then the resources were taken and manufactured to the place that would mold it, right? And then that place, and someone got paid for it. And then those people were able to pay for their houses and pay for their cars and pay for all the things, right? And then that person, that someone had to install it. Someone had to be a general contractor. Do you see what I'm saying? I won't go too much more into it, but I want you to know that abundance is everywhere. And we are literally standing by a river of abundance. And it's up to you if you want to put your feet in it, if you want to bathe in it, or if you want to keep your back to it. But it's there for your taking. You just need to start seeing it. Okay. What keeps us stuck? What keeps us stuck in the 3D? Because it keeps yanking us back. Like, why? The first one is the drama triangle. I want you to think about this. When we are in the 3D world and we're in struggle, someone has to be right, someone has to be wrong, someone has to be a victim, someone has to be a villain, and someone can be a rescuer too, right? So there's constantly someone that is to blame outside of us. Someone is wrong, someone is right. Keeps us in absolute judgment, it keeps us in separation. So rather than sitting in the drama triangle, we start to take 100% responsibility. And we start to go internally for the answers and upwards for the answers instead of outwards for the answers. And you start to get into a practice of noticing, because awareness is the antidote to suffering. You start to notice, and especially as your nervous system starts to really become safe and you start to utilize the tools to get yourself back to a safe place, and you start to feel safe to be safe, you'll notice that you start to get out of this drama triangle. You start to notice that it's happening before you get involved in the chaos. And you can be in the eye of the storm instead of constantly in the storm. So you're not, seeking answers externally, the right and the wrong, the judgment. I talked to you about the nervous system. And then these emotional loops. Most of us have stuffed our emotions over the course of our lifetime. We've been taught it's not safe to have emotions. We've been taught that it's not okay to have emotions. And so we learn very quickly that to be accepted in our family unit, to not be put away in our room, to be in a place of acceptance, we have to turn the emotions off, right? And so that's when we start to have those problems with our health. That's when we start to have dysregulation and nervous system problems. And so we're going to be going into all of this to teach you tonight. And the last thing is the hungry mind. The mind constantly wants to make sense of everything that's happening. So how many of you can relate to this? You have an emotion, and maybe it's not a pleasant emotion. Maybe it's constricting. And the first thing that happens is you come up with a story of why you feel that way. How many of you feel that way? Just put your little hand up if you feel that way. I know that, yeah. So the first thing, we got to figure it out. We're constantly looking for why we feel the way that we feel. And that's, again, where we get into the drama triangle. Oh, it's your fault. Oh, it's your fault. It's this problem or it's that problem. Oh, if I fix the problem, I will feel okay. This hungry mind is incessant, and we analyze everything in our life. Once again, we're teaching our nervous system we're not safe. We're constantly looking for the problem, and we're constantly feeding that hungry mind. And so I want you to understand that that's what keeps us stuck. Now, this isn't limited to this list, but for tonight, this is it. Okay, so how do we get out? How do we get out of the cycle? What do we do? Now, most of us have been taught the reverse on this 5D system. Most of us have been taught that our results are based on our actions, which are based on our thoughts and beliefs, which are based on our emotions. And we don't even talk about the nervous system imprints. Okay. So it actually is in the reverse. Our nervous system imprints. And let me kind of describe this. And we can't go into it in massive depth today. We're primarily going to be talking about nervous system imprints and emotions today, because that's where it begins. That's your foundation. And if you don't feel safe to feel safe, and your nervous system is literally the subconscious program keeps yanking you back to the same place that you've always been, then the rest of it doesn't matter. How many of you have signed up for systems for business, for instance, and you've done all the things? I post this many times, I email this many times, I do this with my social media, I do the system that everybody tells me I'm supposed to do, and it doesn't work for me. Right? Or maybe you signed up for or perhaps you start to see that yourself goes in a different direction with your finances. You get an incredible job that was your dream job, and you get into it and you start to enjoy this job. And then all of a sudden something happens and the job is gone, or you get fired, or they have layoffs. You're going to notice that the nervous system wants to keep you safe. Primary job. And there's a beautiful story about, or a research project that shows that ancestral, a lot of this is not even yours, okay? There was a study with some cherry blossoms and the scent of cherry blossoms with rats. And each time the rat would smell this cherry blossom, they would get shocked. Their paws would get shocked, their little feet. And they did that several times. And then pretty soon they didn't have to shock them anymore. And all they had to do was bring this aroma, this cherry blossom fragrance into their cage. Now, what was really fascinating, and we understand that Pavlov's dog, with the, salivating and the bell. But what was fascinating about this one is that 13 generations later, they didn't have to ever shock any of those babies or their grandbabies or their great grandbabies. All they had to do was put the cherry blossoms fragrance in, and their body reacted, and they got in hyper arousal, and they got into panic. So you can imagine, you and I most of us came from people who went through the Great Depression, maybe some wars, maybe burning at the stake. Those things are in our DNA unless our ancestors were gracious enough to process it for us. And they didn't have the tools. They didn't know how to do this. So the nervous system imprints are literally what is running the show. And then from 0 to 7, you had those things programmed into you at that time. So whether it's money, or whether it is intimacy, or it is whatever you want to equate this with, your subconscious, which is the majority of our brain, will yank you down until we utilize the tools that we know how to keep us safe and how to rewire the wire, okay? How to reprogram and use neural plasticity to start changing those things. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to see you guys, and I can't really see you guys right now. And we're going to do some things for our nervous system. I want to share with you some things that can help regulate your nervous system. First of all, we want to know where we stand. So we're going to do an assessment tool. We're going to see where our nervous system is. The beautiful thing with this tool, or any of the tools that I teach with assessments, is that your body is very flexible and very, very, like when you are in a beautiful parasympathetic response, your body is very pliable, very bendable. But when you are in a state of sympathetic nervous system, your body has a hard time with mobility. Okay, so that's why we're going to use this. This is an example. So I'm going to show you the crow. It's like a crow or a scarecrow. We're going to do scarecrow arm. So everybody put their arm up like this. Okay. Now we're going to, and just kind of have it bent. I sometimes like to hold it here so that my shoulder isn't doing anything funky. And I'm just going to let it drop. See where it drops naturally. Don't force it, just where it drops. Okay, just where it drops. Now we're going to do a nervous system regulation tool. We're going to use breath, and we're going to use we're going to open up our diaphragm so we can take in more air, so that we can help our nervous system feel a little bit safer. We're going to open up the container. Okay, we're going to increase our capacity, because right now, most of us, the majority of us in the United States specifically, are very linear. If you're in fight and flight, all you're seeing is this, right? That's it. That's why you can't go into that true impossible, unlimited possibility thinking, because you are just trying to save yourself. Okay. So what we're going to do, and you can't really see my legs, but I'm going to try and help you guys understand this. You are going to cross your left foot, your left ankle, over your right ankle. So if you're sitting, most of you are sitting, just cross those. Now you're going to take your right hand and you're going to put it over your left leg so that you're twisted, kind of like a little bit of a press. Okay. Why do we go to the left? Because it opens up our diaphragm. We're going to do a thing called helical breathing, which means that we're going to breathe in for 3, we're going to hold for 5, we're going to breathe out for 7. Okay. And we're going to do that 5 times. And each time, I encourage you just to see what your mobility is. If your body will allow you to go a little farther, perfect. But we're not doing this with force. And we're keeping our spine erect, okay? So, and we're breathing into our back ribs as we're doing it. So go ahead and breathe in all the way into your belly. Remember, it's in your belly. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to do 2 more times. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more time. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. Go ahead and untwist. And now I'm going to ask you to try your assessment again. So we're going to do this. Were you more flexible? And for some of you, you're like, no, not any more than I was before. And remember, you're not going like this. You're just letting it fall. You're just letting it fall. Okay. And you're assessing. Now, there are a lot of nervous system tools that I can show and give you. I'm going to give you one other besides this, and we'll do another assessment. But the reason why we do this is to see if your body is more flexible. Is it more able to have mobility, greater mobility? Because that shows us that your nervous system feels a bit safer. Now, there's some high payoff nervous system tools, and not every one of them is going to work for you. Every single person's biology and physiology is going to be different. So I'm going to teach you one more. Anybody see that their flexibility got a little bit better? Their assessment was a little bit better. Okay, awesome, great, wonderful. Okay, that's a high payoff tool for you. Super simple. Took us like what? A minute, 2 minutes. This is another one. It is called eye yoga. How many of you know what eye yoga is? Okay. Okay, Jennifer does. Raven, well, yes, Raven, you know what this is. Many of the people I've worked with know what eye yoga is. Eye yoga, the reason why eye yoga or any sort of optic nerve reset happens is it's the very top of your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the largest nerve in your body that basically goes from your root chakra all the way up to your third eye. And because it is one of the primary ways that our body knows that it feels safe, and when it's not feeling safe, it gets compacted. So we're going to kind of unlock it with our eyes. Okay, that's why it works. So again, we're not going to learn another assessment tool. Go ahead, and there's other assessment tools, but just go ahead and do that. And now just kind of pay attention where it's at. We're going to go ahead and take your hands. You're going to put it behind your head. And without moving your chin, you're going to look to the right. And I would hold it there as you're going to look to your elbow. Okay, so you're basically putting strain on your eyes, but not too much strain. For those of you that have nervous systems that are really, really not healthy, it may hurt. It may hurt, and you don't want to hurt. You want to just practice a little bit each day. If it hurts, you'll just practice a tiny bit each day until you can do this. But the goal is to hold it there until either you yawn or your eyes shift and vision. Mine goes blurry. And I know that I'm done. I've reset that side. So then I go to the other side and I hold it there. Usually it takes me about 20, 30 seconds. When I first started, it took me 40, 50 seconds. And so when you're done, did anybody feel a shift? If you didn't, it's okay. It's all right. Did anybody have a yawn or find their vision blurred or just feel a release? Maybe you exhale deeply. Okay, not a whole lot. Okay, always a sigh. Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, you'll feel a sigh. We might not have used it long enough for you to actually feel the results. So I would encourage you to practice that. I want you to know when I first started practicing this, it was brought to my attention from one of my dear friends, Cammie Clark, who owns Vivid Healing. And she was like, all of a sudden I saw her I hadn't seen her for about 6 months and saw her and I was like, what's going on? You are so happy. You're so joyful. Not that she wasn't happy before, but it was just this different energy. And she goes, you really want to know? And I said, yes, of course. And she goes, it is the silliest thing you will ever see. And I tell you, it has changed my life. And it was eye yoga. So and there's lots of different eye yogas. I teach lots of different techniques. And again, it's finding a high payoff tool for you to help your body feel safe. When our bodies feel safe, it starts to rest and digest. We start to sleep better. We start to be present. Because when we are not present, when we are in chronic stress, we're always projecting to the future to hopefully figure things out so that we can be safe, or reflecting on the past, okay? So when we're absolutely present and our nervous system is dialed in, this is where heaven is, guys. This is where heaven is right here, right now, not in the future and not in the past. And I know you all have heard this a bazillion times, okay? But it's learning to use it to work with your biology and physiology to get yourself, hurry and worry. I love this. And Melanie says that this has changed her life. Okay, so she swears by eye yoga. So those that have been committed and not just tossed it out and gone, oh, that is such a silly little thing. That's not going to make a difference for me. Those that will be, I say habit stack. When you're brushing your teeth, right after, do eye yoga. Or if you go to the restroom, you're just, well, for women, you're just sitting there. So you can do it really quick, right? So for guys, it'll probably be a little harder. So, but habit stack it with something so that you have this consistency with doing a tool that will help regulate your nervous system. Now, this is just 2. I have 1 hour tonight. I can't give you all the nervous system tools. But I just wanted you to help understand that your nervous system is one of the main reasons why you keep getting yanked back to ground zero. Okay. It is that's running the show and running the program and keeping you in these patterns, because the nervous system really just created neural pathways. So there's lots of different ways to work with your neural plasticity. But the biggest thing that I want to drive home tonight, the one thing that I want to gift to you, are a couple of techniques to start utilizing to help your body start to relax, to help your body stop going into fighting the world, okay? Now, you can see this. It's funny, I was in one of my Scandinavian trips. I was a week in an ashram in Sweden, and they asked us to consider how the word why has impacted our life. And I looked at myself in meditation and I always thought I was flight because I'm a doer. I'm a generator in human design. I get things done. I like to be busy. I like to have projects. I like to get things done. And so I always thought that my way of being in fight and flight was a flight. But I started to watch myself answer that question in my mind over my lifetime, which was why? Why is this happening? Why is this doing it? Why didn't it happen? Like, why I did everything right. Why weren't the ticket sales the way that they were? And why didn't people sign up for my program? Or why didn't my family member, why is my daughter treating me this way? Or why? Fight. I'm fighting life, right? So the nervous system will start to pattern in those same patterns over and over, fighting, flighting. Fawn is a favorite for most mothers, that if they save their kids and their kids are okay, then they're okay. If their spouse is okay, then they're okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, the secret to beautiful relationships is knowing that when you choose you choose everyone. Because then you teach your kids that if they take care of this person right here, then they are the most vibrant, passionate, and happy person. And so are you, and you are a reflection of that. Instead of saying, I just want you to be happy, but mom's miserable or dad's miserable. It's, I am reflecting this inner peace and inner joy. And I do that because I don't self-betray myself. I listen to my heart. I listen to my soul. I listen to what my desires are. And I hold on to that. And instead of saving everybody else, making sure everybody's okay, there's this okayness meter, right? That we have. Are you okay? You okay? You happy? You happy? You happy? We start to recognize that living in truth is more important. I love the quote that says, or someone brought this up. It was kind of an interesting thing, that most people are more interested in dishonest harmony than honest contention. And I don't like the word contention, but let's just say it, suffice it to say that we would rather be dishonest with each other and just pretend that we're all harmonious and happy than to be honest and just be us. And that's where we're heading. How many of you want to go there? I'm not interested in being fake anymore. I'm not interested in pretending that I'm okay when I'm not okay. I'm not interested in stuffing emotions when they want to come out, and being okay and vulnerable to be sad one day or to be angry one day or to do all of these things. And that leads me directly to my next step, which is, and we're going over a little bit. I hope you guys are okay with that. I'm going to go back to sharing that one. Let's see. There we go. I want to go into emotions now. We talked a little bit about nervous system regulation. I gave you 2 techniques. I gave you eye yoga and helical breathing. I will be giving you the recording, so don't worry about it if you want to fast forward to it. This is right about the 1 hour mark, so that's where you'll find it, okay? The next piece is emotions. Again, we talked a little bit about it already, that we have not been taught to honor our emotions, and our emotions are our GPS in life. When we are out of alignment, it is there to teach us how to course correct again. That internal struggle or the dissonant and low vibrational energies are there to teach us that we are not in our truth. We are not aligned with pure self and authentic self. So getting reacquainted with them, and then also closing the emotional loops that we have. Emotional loops occur when an emotion or a big experience comes in, and we aren't willing to feel it, and we aren't willing to look at it. And so we get really good at stuffing it. I hear more than anything else that people are exhausted. They're so fatigued. And I'm going to tell you, it's not necessarily, some of it is a physical thing, but the majority of it is they are emotionally constipated. They have so many tabs open on their hardware system because they never closed it. They never closed the loop. And so it's kind of like when you have an emotion, the most beautiful way to close a loop is to be with that emotion for 90 seconds. If you can be with an emotion for 90 seconds, and most of us have spent our entire life running away and creating hell on this earth. So I'm going to tell you, you can do it for 90 seconds. I don't care how intense the emotion is. If you will just be with it and witness it for 90 seconds, you will be able to move that emotion and allow it to be set free, and you will close an emotional loop. So those are the things that keep us from growing in all of these areas, is the nervous system imprints and the emotions, which then you can see that this cycle goes this way to the right. We have this hardware program, we have emotions, that leads to our emotions, that and sometimes our reactions, which leads to our thoughts and beliefs, which leads to our actions, which leads to our results. And that's where the 5D world is on the results. When you are vibrating at a beautiful frequency within your heart space and not your head space, because that's where we've learned to live in our lifetime, is we've tried to figure things out. And we've forgotten how to feel what it feels like in ourselves, our souls, our body, our emotions. And so we're moving away from the brain thinking. It's great for imagination, for understanding, for comprehension and communication, but it is not here to guide us. The internal guidance systems comes from our body and our emotions, and ultimately our essence, right? Because those two things will lead you to really knowing your authentic self and feeling so freaking comfortable in yourself that you don't have to apologize to anybody for ever being truly you, that you are the greatest gift that we can possibly have. And the spiritual gifts that you have are what we are all needing collectively to rise above this world of struggle. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about emotions. We're going to learn one thing to process our emotions, okay? Maybe two, but I think one. There's a practice called serene mind. I learned this from Sri Pritiji, who is the guru, one of the gurus at the Oneness Organization, or ETM, in India. I spent an entire week with them in Sweden, and I learned this not that long ago, about 6-8 months ago. And I have found that it helps our nervous system, because instead of trying to fix something, it just sits with it. We become aware. We learn to be the observer instead of the participant. It also teaches you to be aware, and awareness is the antidote to suffering. So we get to be aware of what's going on internally. We just start to look. We don't try and fix. We don't go to the story. We don't go into the analyzation. We literally just stay with what's happening internally. And so I'm going to encourage you to bring up something that seems to be bothering you. Let's not go to a deep trauma that's really going to activate your system, but just simply bring up in your awareness something that seems to be eating at you or is a worry in your mind, okay? And I've got a guided meditation that's like 4 or 5 minutes, and all you need to do is breathe and close your eyes and be with yourself. And it's going to guide you through this. Basically, I'm going to give you the nutshell of how it works. You connect to your breath, you close your eyes, and you just become very aware of what's happening internally. Where is that energy happening? Is it in your gut? Is it in your heart? Is it in your throat? Is it a series of places? And you're not trying to push it away, and you're not trying to pull it towards you. You're literally just acting as if it's happening to, well, it is. It's happening to this other person, right? So you're just literally watching that. You're just observing it. And you can even describe it. Oh, the texture is like this. And if I gave it a color, it's like this. And the weight feels like this. And just get curious, almost like you're a little child. What this does is that it teaches your nervous system, oh, she's not in fight and flight. She's accepting what's happening. She's here. And it helps close an emotional loop. So it basically is a 2-for-1. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my music. Let's see if we can do this. I'm hoping we can. Okay. And you won't be able to hear me while this is going. So just a minute. Get into a comfortable position where your spine is straight. Close your eyes and connect to your breath, taking 3 intentional diaphragmatic yogic breaths in through the nose, into the upper chest, down to the mid chest, then into the belly as it rises. And going out just in the same manner, almost as if a wave is gently rolling in and then out. Exhaling for longer than you inhale. And taking 2 more beautiful inhalations and exhalations in the same manner. Now gently bring your awareness to your internal world. Simply become curious. What is happening inside your system today, in this moment, right now? Are you experiencing calm and peace? Are you experiencing some sort of dysregulation? Perhaps there's some energy that you can feel in a part of your body. Focus in on that. Is it happy and excited? Is it heavy and sad or loneliness? If you were to describe it to someone else, what would be the texture? What would the color be like? Would it be light and white, pink, light blue? Or would it be heavier and darker and gray and black? Or maybe in between, vibrant red or vibrant yellow, orange, or maybe a softer version. What would the weight be like? What would be the temperature? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it hot? Is it a mixture? Now bringing your attention to your thoughts. Are your thoughts in the never-changing past? Are they in the unforeseeable future? Or are they right here in this right now? Bringing your attention to the space between your eyebrows, or that third eye center, connecting to that place. Imagine that you can see a flame in front of your eye, your third eye space. If you can't see it, imagine feeling it. Now bringing that flame into the middle of your head, right where the pituitary, the pineal, and the hypothalamus connect. Just intentionally bring it into the middle of your head space. There's nothing to do, just being in tune with that space. Your intention will bring it there. And now, simply let it go. Let it go to wherever it needs to be, to that universal consciousness of all that knows exactly where it should go, how it should be taken care of, and simply surrender it to that space. And when you feel impressed, open your eyes and come back to this reality. All right, go ahead and gently open your eyes. Whoops. Right, go ahead. It's as simple as that. And honestly, serene mind, you can do anytime. You don't need to have a guidance through it. It can be as short as 2.5 minutes. So when you feel yourself go into a dysregulated state where you're feeling big emotion, my encouragement is to simply try the serene mind practice. It is absolutely life-changing. Just as eye yoga and helical breathing have brought a lot of relief in this nervous system, we need to close those emotional loops so that you can start to then go into the stories and beliefs that are also habitual in nature. And then the actions just start to perpetuate from there. The actions and the results are easy. They take care of themselves, okay? But it's literally just getting yourself into that space so that you're literally, you are in the 5D realm most of the time. Now, does this mean challenges and things are always, I feel blissed out. I love that. I'm so glad that you feel blissed out. It'd be beautiful if you guys could turn your cameras on, those of you that feel comfortable. I would love to see your beautiful faces. But I want you to know those are simple. Do you see these? They're simple. They're simple practices. And there is a system to get you to the place of the 5D world. I want you to understand that you all have this capability. I'm not anything different than you. We're all one anyways. So I don't have some sort of special sauce that allows me to do this. Now, am I always there? Not always. About 10% of the time, I see myself react like the old version, but I catch myself. I feel big emotion, but I allow it to come out. And I can use sound, I can use voice, I can use breath work, I can use one of the things I was going to do, but I don't think I'm going to have time tonight. If you're angry, turn on angry music, like 9 Inch Nails, and dance it out, get it out, right? Punch a pillow. If you are sad, turn on a sad love song and cry and get it out. Allowing yourself to close the emotional loops will give you vibrancy and health, and start to allow yourself to get natural in doing it as it comes up. Because you're going to still feel emotions. You're human. I'm human. We signed up for this. But you're going to see it differently. It's not happening to you anymore. You're starting to go, I get to feel sad. I get to feel excited. I get to feel angry. I get to feel all the things, and it becomes really beautiful. The pattern will still, you'll be in resistance for a while your body starts and your mind starts to change. In fact, it's interesting. My body doesn't react on certain things, but my patterns still show up. We were at a festival checking it out for Yin on Fire, just like their logistical stuff. And we happened to be at a concert one of the nights, and we were like, we got stuck in a crowd, and it was like body to body people. And I'm typically claustrophobic. And my brain said, oh my gosh, you're going to have a panic attack. Oh my gosh, you're going to have a panic attack. But my body wasn't saying it anymore. And I went, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm fine. I'm fine. My nervous system is fine. It's just a pattern. My brain says I'm supposed to have a panic attack, but my body is not saying that. So it's really interesting how that happens. Okay, any comments? I wish that we will at the end here in about 5 minutes. I'm going to open it up for question and answer. So hold your questions for a second. I'm just going to go ahead and do the last couple of slides. Okay, wait a second. Okay, I'm going to have to figure out how to get back on here. Okay, there we go. Okay. So we're not going to go into the others because tonight we have time for this is the foundation. And this is where I feel like most people who are teaching personal development are not, they're like mind over matter. Just think positive affirmations. And I think that is a little bit of spiritual bypassing, because when you have subconscious programs that are yanking you back to the same spot, it doesn't matter how much you think, you have to start feeling. You have to start being. You have to feel safe for you to have those things be impactful and successful in your life. Does this mean that we never, I also want to explain too, so many people, because I really teach, get into the vibrational match of what you want. Like if you are calling in abundance, the greatest gift you can give to your abundance factor is to feel good inside. But in order to feel good, you have to move that emotion, right? So we're not spiritually bypassing. We're not saying, oh, well, you just should choose a better thought. Choose a better thought. But remember, our thoughts, the emotion comes before that, and our nervous system becomes before that. So you can think positive thoughts all day long, but if the program and the emotion is stuck there, it's going to be hard. You might be able to do it somewhat, but it's going to be difficult to maintain that, because the old program is going to pull you back. So that's why we work on the nervous system. That's why we work on emotional loops and processing emotion and honoring and loving emotion before we can go into the thoughts and the beliefs and rewiring. Okay, so I told you, this is the last 5 minutes. I'm going to take 5 minutes to tell you, for those of you that are like, I'm ready to do a deep dive. I want to learn more about this, because I'm going to tell you, I can only share 20% of the information. 20% of the information is processed in your being from your cognitive ability. So I can teach you in a workshop 20%. So you're going to have some changes. It's going to make an impact. But 80% is who you be. It's in your body. It's in your feelings. It's in your sensations. It's in becoming this information, so that it's no longer something you have to think about. It's something you are. It's something you always have been. And that's why it's important for me to have experiences where people are with me. Because it's one thing to teach you all day long how to get on a bike and ride a bike and go down the road on a bike and using, proper bike safety and helmets and all that. But it's another thing to get you on a bike and have the wind in your hair and the sun on your back. That's when you know what it's like to be on a bike. And then it becomes just you. So these are the offerings that I have. If you want to do a deep dive in a workshop platform, I actually am doing this 5D mini course for my clients that go on the transformational programs or retreats. I am doing a digital platform. So I'm inviting people from the public to come and do this class for a nominal fee while I record it. So it's next Monday through Friday. It's at noon every day. You don't have to be there live. We will have it recorded, and it will be on a platform where you log in and all of the data and information is there. It is a beautiful discussion there, and you'll have lifetime access. That's $99, and I'll share with you real quick what those topics will be. Of course, Yin on Fire. I know a lot of you are going to Yin on Fire. That's a conscious healing festival in Cedar City, Utah, with over 80 workshops. I'm going to be teaching 2-hour workshop, and then there's 79 other workshop facilitators that are going to do every kind of topic you can think of, and nighttime shows that will knock your socks off with conscious artists. And I'm going to be honest with you, don't use this code until tomorrow morning because it's not active yet. But 5D World is the promo code to get $22 off. And that you won't find that anywhere else. My transformational program and retreats, I do an in-person experience. And those of you that have been on these experiences can maybe put in the chat if you like them or not. But these are where I go in the deep dive. And I do these programs and retreats so that you can have an experience and you can feel what it feels like to get on the bike, so that the 80% I'm talking about, you can actually feel. I have I have 3 more spots for Mount Shasta, August 14th through the 18th. Mount Shasta is magical. It is a magical, beautiful vortex of energy. There's something unlike it anywhere. And that's coming up soon. And that's about authentic connection. All of these are based on 5D. So we're doing some of the same things on all of them. Tuscany, Italy, October 12th through the 19th. Both of those are for men and women. Ubud, Bali is for women only, and that's January 20th through the 28th. Now, I want you to know that you can check at wendybunnell.com. You can see these. In fact, let me see if I can quickly share. We'll go to the next slide real quick. Okay, this is the 5D mini course. This is what you're going to learn if you decide that you want to come join us. It's entering the 5D world and the cycle of healing. We're going to go in more depth about that on Monday. Tuesday, we do body, health, and emotions. Wednesday, relationships. Thursday, money. And I love money. It's my favorite topic to talk about. And Friday is unlimited creation and possibilities. So you'll have a comprehensive 5-hour program that you can have lifetime access to. So that is something you can sign up at wendybunnell.com. You'll see 5D mini course and you can sign up for it. Mount Shasta, it's coming up fast. So I just wanted to highlight that one because we have the 3 spots and it's such a beautiful, I am so excited about this experience. Mount Shasta is unlike anywhere in the whole world. We're going to be going to Heart Lake and Fairy Falls, and there are energy vortexes that you literally can see. We're going to be staying on 13 acres and we're going to be having experiences like I've never taught before. If you want any information, you can go on my page, go to Transformational Programs and Retreats. You'll see all of the listings and just go through it. And if you are interested, you fill out an interest form, or you can text me or message me, however you want to get in touch with me. But I am closing the registration for that next week because I need to close the container for it. And that's coming up soon. So that's it. I am here for question and answer, and I will not leave until I answer the questions. So if there's nothing, that's fine. If there's a comment, that's fine. But I would love to pour into you. And yes, it's 8:25. I went way past what I thought I would, but I hope, how was this information helpful? Was it helpful? Do you think that it's something that you can take with you and apply in your life? You can chat, you can unmute at this point, you can unmute. Don't worry about talking over me.
I just want to share really quick that even though I have got the pleasure of you teaching me the tools that you shared today, I always take any opportunity I can to soak it in, but every single one of the things you have given me in the past, and I have used every single one of those things, and they're just these little things and these little moments, but I'm not sure I can even put into words. They're actually the moments that they turn around for me in the past would have been huge moments, devastating moments where I would have, curled up in a ball and rocked back and forth for, a few years before I came out of it. But yeah, there was one where you and I had talked just randomly after I just got done doing it was this moment that there was this kind of really uncomfortable, really unpleasant thing happening in my life. And I just pulled my car over and I did the practice, and the entire scenario looked completely different than it would have for me a year ago. And putting those things into practice, it really has changed my life. Now it's, now it's more natural. I don't have to think about it. I do these things, and I know, and I trust myself, and I trust my higher power, and I trust the universe that these little things that were once big things are not going to destroy me, and that it's impossible for those things to destroy me. And it's given me trust in myself to get out of whatever I'm facing. And so I just want to share that I'm so grateful for that. I am not the same person I was. It was less than a year ago, Wendy. I was just thinking, less than a year ago, I called you terrified. By
Yes.
the way, I just wanted to share that. But thank you so much. I love you.
Mackenzie, thank you for those beautiful words. And it really comes back to you. And the fact of it is you took the information, you applied it in your life. And it was interesting. I had a discussion with my financial freedom group yesterday, and one of the people said, my financial situation hasn't changed yet, but I am so relaxed and I'm not worrying and I'm not stressed and I'm creating for the just for the pure joy of creating. And I feel so free and so peaceful. And I said to this person, isn't that beautiful? Because that's the very reason why you wanted money, was to feel freedom and peace, but you're feeling it now. And that's the very vibration where abundance comes in. So the byproduct of you feeling good and peaceful and free is money. Isn't that beautiful? And so it was really, it's such a testament through those like you, Mackenzie, that's willing to not just listen, but become those things. That is you. You don't have to work at it anymore. It's just who you are. It's who you be. And so I just really appreciate the fact that, thank you for sharing. And I also put the ball back in your court and say, this was you, sister, this was you. And I'm just here guiding you back to your heart, back to who you are. That's all. I'm nobody's guru. I literally, in fact, the greatest gift anybody can give me is to not need me anymore. Like, just be my friend. I don't want you to rely on anything that I teach you. I want you to become these things, because then we can collectively change this world together, right? That's where we're going. So, thank you. Any questions, any comments?
Wendy, I had a question. I put it in the chat, but yeah. I think it's getting missed. I'm curious, you shared with us a couple nervous system reboots. Do you have a go-to when life upsets you or you get, thrown off your groove that helps you get back on track even if you're out and about or?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. So if you're feeling floaty and you're like, grounding is my go-to. I just go outside, put my feet on the ground, connect with Mother Earth, right? But then I usually will do another nervous system tool on top of that. Any of the breathing patterns, that helical breathing was beautiful for me. It works really, really well. The other thing that there is one, and I'll just teach you really, really fast. It's another optic nerve reset where you put your hands over your eyes and you keep your eyes open. So you're kind of cupping your eyes like that. And you're blocking all the sunlight, or as much as you can, so it's dark, and your eyes are open. And you keep it open for maybe 30 seconds, 60 seconds. But that resets the optic nerve. For me, the optic nerve really makes a difference. When I reset that, my vagus nerve just kind of relaxes, and I don't feel as hyperreactive or out of sorts. And then, of course, breath, any type of breath where you're exhaling more than you're inhaling and you're just focusing on your breath brings you back to the present and helps you. That is source energy. You are literally breathing in prana. That is your connection between the two realms, is your breath and your voice. So chanting is a beautiful way. So there's lots of different little techniques that I share along the way, but I would say that is my personal go-to. So, and of course, when we get out of fixing problems, our nervous system naturally relaxes, right? When we're really surrendering and accepting what is, our nervous system goes, oh my gosh, she's not trying to fix a problem. He's not trying to fix a problem. Life must be okay. So, this has been beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. Any others? I just want to make sure that I'm giving your time.
Hi, Wendy. It's Holly.
Hello.
Hi, beautiful. Hey, what was that serene mind? I couldn't understand what you were saying.
Yes, it's serene, SERENE, serene mind. And basically, just to give you the protocol, connect to your breath. Observe what's happening internally. You can do this anytime you're dysregulated. Just stop and just drop in.
Okay.
Third, check in with your thoughts. You're going to start to see a habit. Oh, I live in the future a lot, or oh, I live in the past a lot, right? So now awareness is your antidote to suffering. You'll start to get a pattern. And then number 4 would be taking that flame from the center, in between your eyebrows, imagining it's there, feeling it, and then bringing it to the center of your head and letting it go. So that I would say also, Connie, that's a big go-to for me is serene mind. It is just becoming the observer instead of the participant will change everything. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any others? Are we good? Are we complete?
Thank you, Wendy.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. I so appreciate all of you being here and hanging in there with me as I become, sometimes it just takes a little longer. I didn't want to cheat you information. So hope to see some of you next week as I'm recording these anyways. And would love to have you. It'll be a smaller group. We'll have a little more discussion. So, and if any of you are interested in Mount Shasta or Italy or Bali, reach out to me.
Bali.
Yeah. Oh, Holly's going to Bali. We got several people that are coming. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, I'm super excited for all of those and love you. Love you.
Hey, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
Hey, Wendy.
Yes.
You are just as cute as you were when we were young. And you didn't have gray hair. And yeah, I dye mine. So,
Is crazy. So
you are just as cute as I remember before we had kids.
oh, thank you. Misty and I have gone back a long ways and I haven't seen her for a long time.
And I just love you. And you're just so darling. And I'm so glad that I took this class. I just love you. And I have missed your guts.
Well, I get to spend all next week with you. So that's great.
I'm so excited. And you're
Yeah.
just so beautiful.
Oh,
I
thank
just love you to pieces.
you. Love you back.
Okay. All right. I'm so glad I took this class. Love you.
Yeah.
Sweet girl.
All right, my friends. Any others or are we out? We're out, right? Okay. Have a wonderful evening.